sallallahu alayhi wasallam returned back to Medina al-Munawwarah. And then he sallallahu alayhi wasallam, towards the 28th night or 27th or 28th of Safar, called Abu Muwayhiba. And Abu Muwayhiba used to be a slave of the Prophet, which he released and set free. So Abu Muwayhiba was summoned. Ya Aba Muwayhiba, إن الله تبارك وتعالى أمرني أن يستغفر لأهل هذا البقيع فانطلق معي. Allah has ordered me to seek forgiveness for the people in the graveyard of the Baqi, so come with me. So Abu Muwayhiba said, I went with him, middle of the night. And you want to learn loyalty, learn it from your Rasul. They are dead and buried. He could have just moved on with life, but no, any chance he got, he would go to their graves and make dua for them. Aisha says, one night he came, ruwaydan, next to my bed, like tiptoeing to make sure he doesn't wake me up. And then he came near me, he saw me asleep, he took his sandals, walked back out, ruwaydan, quietly. And as he walked out, Aisha is awake because she knows ruwaydan, you know. So she's thinking, where is he going? And jealousy, the first thing that comes to, you know, a lady's head, and forgive me for this. So she put on the hijab and, you know, followed the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, thinking he's going to another wife's house because I am asleep. So she followed him, and he ended up in the graveyard, raising his hands to the Zul Arsh al-Majid, making dua for the dead Muslims. Oh Allah, forgive them. Oh Allah, bless them. And so tonight, on this night of Shawwal, this night of Safar, he sallallahu alaihi wasallam is back in the Baqi, and Abu Muwayhiba is with him. And then he greets them. Assalamu alaikum ya ahl al-maqabir. Greetings to you, peace be unto you, O dwellers of the graves. And then he says, glad tidings to you in what you are in, compared to what the people outside are in. Aqbalatil fitan, calamities are about to be unleashed. Fitnas are coming upon my ummah. Kaqit'il layl al-muzlim, like a chunk of the dark night. One will follow the other. Al-akhiru sharrum min al-ula. The last will be worse than the beginning. And then walking a little further, he says, Ya Abu Muwayhiba, O Abu Muwayhiba, Allah Rabbul Izzah gave me the choice. Gave me the choice to live in this world, wal khuldu fiha, and have eternity into it, and then go to Jannah, or to meet my Lord and go to Jannah. So Abu Muwayhiba says, Bi abi anta wa ummi ya Rasulullah, by my mom and dad be sacrificed for you, O Prophet. Choose the dunya, choose to stay here, stay with us, see your ummah flourish, see your ummah grow, guide your ummah, and then go to Jannah towards the end. And the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, فَأَخْتَرْتُ لِقَاءَ رَبِّي, I chose the meeting and the appointment of my Lord instead. I want to go to the Zul Arsh al-Majid instead. And then he says, he went home. And the next day, there's a funeral in the Baqi, same graveyard in Medina. And he followed the funeral procession, and then as soon as he came back from it, his head started to ache and fever started to grip him. And they say fever so intense that you would put your hand on his turban and feel the heat from outside the turban. So he's in the house of Maymuna radiallahu anha when the sickness started. And for 14 days he is sick. The period of sickness lasts for 14 days or 13 days. And then, so he leaves during the day and he goes to the house of Aisha, and when he enters she says, wa ra'sah, oh my head. So the Prophet says, bal ana wa ra'sah ya Aisha. Oh Aisha, no, my head is the one that is hurting. Aisha says, my head is hurting. The Prophet said, no, my head is hurting. And then they had a little conversation. Then the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam went back, and for the next 11 days in that sickness and in that fever and in that headache, intense headache, you will see, intense headache, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam still fulfilled all his obligations and duties. He would still attend the salah and lead the salah. He would still counsel, he would still advise, he would still visit his wives, he would still judge. And the illness intense. And every day he used to say, where am I tomorrow? Whose house am I in tomorrow? And first they didn't realize, but then they thought, there's a house he wants to be in. Maybe he's saying, whose house am I? He's looking for a house. So they said, be wherever you want, O Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So he said, if you permit, I want to be in the house of Aisha. So Fadl ibn Abbas and Ali ibn Abi Talib came under his arms. And they say he couldn't walk. So his feet were dragging as they carried him on the ground. And they entered the house of Aisha radiyallahu anha, where he would spend the last week of his life. And Aisha radiyallahu anha, imagine a worried wife, and the Rasul is loved by them. The Rasul, don't imagine you can love as they loved. Their love was different. So he says, she would recite the maw'idat and the dua and the adhkar. And then look at the fiqh of Aisha. She used to blow it on the hands of the Prophet. And then rub his own hands on his body. Because her idea was, his hands are more blessed than my hands. He can't recite, so I will recite. But the barakah is in his hands, so I will rub his own hands on his body. And this continued until 5 days, or until the Wednesday. So he's come to the house of Aisha radiallahu anha, and just 5 days before his demise, he wants to give an advice to the ummah. He prayed the salah normally until a Thursday. And Thursday came, he went to the masjid, he did Fajr, Zuhr, in the same state where he's being dragged. He did Fajr, Zuhr, Asr, Maghrib, and after Maghrib, Isha came. So Bilal gave the adhan for the salah to start. And the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, pour water on me. So they poured water on him, and he got up and he fainted. And then people are waiting that the Rasul will come. So then after a while he gained consciousness. So he said, have they prayed? They said, no, how will they pray? They're waiting for the Imam, for the Rasul to come. So he said, put water on me. So they put water on him again. And then he sallallahu alaihi wasallam stood up to pray, then fell down again and fainted. And then again, and then he said, Muru Abu Bakr falyusalli bin nas. Order Abu Bakr to lead the salah for the people. And then the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam cannot lead the salah anymore after this. So the last few days the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was not able to lead the salah. And then 5 days before his death,